Om ajïäna-timirändhasya jnananjana-çaläkayä çakñurunmilitam yena tasmai çré-gurave namaha çré-caitanya-mano sthapitam yena bhü-tale swayam rupah kadamayyam dadati sva-padäntikam vandeham çré-guroù çré-yuta-pada-kamalam çré-gurün vaishnavamscha çré-rupam sagrajatam sa-gaëa-raghunäthänvitaà tam sa-jévam sa-advaitam sa-vadhutam parijana-sahitam Krishna-chaitanya-devam Shri-Radha-Krishna-padan sa-gaëa-lalita Shri-vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna-sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. All right. We are on chapter 5. We are the most luckiest people on earth who get to read Gita, you know. So we are on chapter 5, Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, or it is also called as Karma Sanyas Yoga. Arjuna has asked, yesterday we did till 15 shlokas. Arjuna is asking, "Oh Krishna, which is better? I understand that you are saying that Sankhya Yoga is good, as well as you also told in 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga is good, or Bhakti Yoga is good. Which one should I do? Bhakti Yoga or the Sankhya Yoga? What according to you is better? Which one is beneficial out of the two?" Bhagavan said, see, both are good for liberation. But out of the two, Bhakti Yoga is better than just renunciation of work. Both of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. And then he went on saying in 3rd shloka that one who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. So Bhagavan says, you don't have to go leave the house or leave anything. All you have to do is give away the fruit of your activities. Do not hate and do not desire the fruit of your activities. And so if somebody is living like this, he is considered to be renounced. Such a person who is free from all dualities and can easily overcome the material bondage and is completely liberated. So these are the signs of a liberated person. As I always tell, Gita opens up your eyes. If you think you are liberated, have you developed these qualities? What you saw or what you didn't see, what you experienced, what you didn't experience, doesn't matter. After all your experiences, whatever you had, are you at this point? If you think, so whatever experiences you had in your life or in your sadhana, in your meditation, whatever you see or whatever you had, along with that, have you developed these qualities? Because nobody can tell you and nobody can come and tell you, okay, you're liberated. Nobody's going to tell you. It is very difficult to understand what liberation totally is. So these are the guidelines. You self-introspect, you see. What is the state of your mind? So you're having certain experiences, and with that, what is your state of mind? If the state of mind is not like this, you're just having experiences, people say, like people are meditating and then they see images. They see deities. And they come out of that and they're like, oh, I saw this deity and that deity. But you saw one deity, you felt the deity is there, and then few days later you're a different person. I know of a person, so that person used to come and tell me, oh, I just saw Krishna. Krishna came, did this, Krishna did that. I was with Krishna. All the time I'm with Krishna. So I'm like, okay, wonderful. Great. Many years later, almost 10, 12 years later, I met the same person again one time. And I was like, how is the Krishna Bhakti going? You were seeing Krishna. How is it going? So this person is like, oh no, I have stopped everything. I'm like, why? Oh no, I don't know what happened. I was always in constant fear. I'm like, but you saw Krishna, right? If you saw Krishna, how can there be fear? So this person is like, I don't know myself. This person is like, at that time I was so excited. I used to be always into this Krishna consciousness. But later on, God knows what happened. I could not focus. I could not do anything. And I used to see things which I should not be seeing. And my mind was cooking up so many things. So my whole question was, so what happened? So all those things that you saw, were they true or not? What do you think? So this person is like, maybe my hallucination. So after the conversation, I left, but I was thinking, what happened? When you hear about spiritual things, you want to just go in that path and you want to surrender fully into that, and then one-sided, you just fully get into it, and at that time your mind is getting purified, and you hear stories about Krishna coming, Krishna doing this, Krishna, and your mind is giving you all those things, and you see all those pictures and you think this is truth. But you haven't developed your subconscious mind the way it is said in the Gita. This mistake people do on the path of spirituality. And you talk to them, they'll say, I know Gita. And what do you know in Gita? They will know the shlokas by heart. But that is not what Gita is. Or they will misunderstand the shlokas of Gita. But here, every shlok you have to contemplate. I have always told, contemplate, contemplate, contemplate. Then you understand. This cannot be on an intellectual level. God cannot be experienced on intellectual level. It is only on experiential level. You can only experience him. But for that, you have to make your subconscious mind like that. The way it has been told in the Gita. So when he says, Bhagavan says, who is free from all dualities? All your experiences, if it is like this, then you are going in the right direction. But all the images that you saw, and in the end, you end up, fearing or getting angry or getting frustrated. Many people leave their worldly duties and run away, thinking that by running away, they'll find God. And I have seen them going nowhere. Because the way Bhagavan is talking, nobody's understanding that. Bhagavan is not talking about running away. He's still saying, work with the devotional spirit. And do not care about what is going to happen. Just work for me. Just give it. And he's explaining it again. So there are two ways to work this out, either to the Gyan marg, to the Sankhya. In Sankhya, it is a very tough mark, tough path. But the hallucinations will be very less. You have to face yourself. Sometimes people get mad there also. Because when you are really truly facing yourself, all the hidden things that you had hidden for many lifetime together, they start coming in front of you and you don't know what is happening. It's a deep, 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 deep cleansing. Sankhya is also tough. And Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, You don't sit down cleansing yourself. You just sit down practicing Bhagwan in everything. And by that, everything gets cleaned off by itself. You don't even realize that it got cleaned. It becomes very easy. So it appears easy and people think this may not take you to God. But Bhagwan here is saying only unintelligent people, lesser intelligent people will talk like this. He says, Sankhya Yogo Pritak Bala. Bala means very, very less intelligent people will talk like this. Who are very kiddish. They will talk like this. That this is different, that different. Both the path can take you to that point. He said, Yat Sankhya prapyate sthanam. Whatever Sankhya can give you, same thing Bhakti Yoga can give you. Ekam Sankhya cha yogam cha. The one who sees Sankhya and yoga as one knows. And what both of these paths will give you? They both will take you beyond Maya, beyond this illusory energy. This is the result of both the paths. So you have to apply both the paths. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Here Bhagavan is giving importance to Karma Yogi. Karma Yoga. Bhakti Yoga. One who works in devotion is a pure soul. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma. Vijitatma, Jitendriya, 7th. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma. The one who is in devotion. He is a pure soul. Vijitatma Jitendriya. He controls his mind, he controls his senses. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. He loves everybody and everybody loves him. Kurvannapi na lipyate. Even though he is loving everybody, he is not attached to anyone. He is never attached. But he does not hate anybody either. His detachment does not mean he hates. His attachment does not mean he loves. He's just doing things for the sake of doing his duty. So Bhagavan is explaining both. And in the 8th and 9th sloka, he is giving the characteristic of a Sankhya yogi, analytical person. He is a transcendental in nature and he is always in divine consciousness. Although he is engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. This is the situation of a Sankhya yogi. And then comes slok number 10. He talks about a Bhakti yogi. What does a Bhakti yogi does? A Bhakti yogi, one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus feet is untouched by, as the lotus leaf is untouched by the water. So both are doing their work. One is in the Atma, the other one is in surrendering it to Bhagwan. He makes Bhagwan as a witness, and the other one's method is different. Both are achieving the same result. Both are sinless. None of them are committing any sin. Bhagwan is accepting both. This is the beauty of Gita. Again, he goes on telling about the Bhakta in slok number 11. Kayena manasa buddhya kaivlair indrairapi yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Yoginaha means yogi, the karma yogi. All those karma yogis, they just do the work merely for the sake of doing, for their own purification. That's all. Now I have come in this body, I know. Body has been given, a certain age has been given to us. We will have to live. We came in this world, maybe we were ignorant. But now when I'm going to leave the world, I'm not ignorant. When I'm living in the world, I'm not ignorant. I have the knowledge. I have the full knowledge. Whatever I do, I'm doing it in full knowledge, in full awareness. Until the Gita was given, until this knowledge was given, whatever we were doing, we were thinking we have knowledge. But that knowledge also was only binding, and we were living ignorantly. But after getting the knowledge like this from Gita, all those bondages are gone. You're liberated. Bhagavan has given this. Bhagavan said in 4th chapter, this knowledge is important. Knowledge will release you from all the sinful reactions. Knowledge will give you liberation. This pure spiritual knowledge. Bhagavan focuses on that. So Bhagavan now in 11th he said, what does a bhakta do? Kayena-manasa buddhya, with his body, with his mind, with his intelligence, kevala, and with all his senses, he just does work for the purification. That's about it. What is that purification we are doing? I have come in this body because of my past desires. I've become a human. I moved around in 88,400,000 species for so many lifetimes. And by luck, I've been given this human body. More fortunate, I met gurus. More fortunate, I came to know about God from early age. More fortunate, I got Gita. More fortunate to have the willpower. More fortunate to have the intelligence. More fortunate to do it, apply it, experience it. But then this body has been given, so we have to live as much as we have to live. We can't die overnight just because I got the knowledge tonight. Today I'll be done. No, we have to live. Because in the past lives, some karmas are there, the prarabdha karmas are there that has to be enjoyed or suffered. Let us suffer or enjoy knowingly. Full awareness. If disease comes to this body, no complaints. If people are angry at me, they hate me, no complaints. If people are my enemies, no complaints. If people love me, thank you, no attachment. If people praise me, Bhagavan, thank you, no puffing up. If people criticize me, thank you. I don't hate anybody. So you live in the world as long as this body has been given to you, this body was given for some purpose, that purpose is served. So the rest of the life, what do? You use the you utilize this body, whatever maximum you can do. Till now, when you're living ignorantly, maximum with this body, you only produce children. You're serving your family, that's all. But when you become realized, you realize, okay, this family is not my family. The whole world is my family. Now I have to work for everybody. And when we are working, we are not afraid. Oh, I'll be tied to the reactions. No, I will not be tied to the reactions. I'll work. But I will not be tied to any reactions. As long as this body is given, work, do good work, give it to God. Go back to Godhead. No more coming back here. And even if coming back here, if God has decided, you come with full intelligence. This intelligence, this knowledge that was developed in this lifetime, this knowledge will not be lost. It is there in subconscious mind. It is pure. And as time will come, it will be opened up to you. Bhagavan has said in chapter 2, even if you do a little effort on this path, it will not be wasted. This is the highest knowledge you can get. Highest knowledge. Whatever you learned in school, you will forget. If I say 2 times 2, immediately you said 2 times 2, 4. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 4, 8. Oh, how quick you know this knowledge. You practice it as a child. So now it is there in your memory. So while throughout your lifetime, it will be there in your memory. Table of 2. But when you die, next janam, next birth when you come, you will have to go to the whole cycle again, go to school, learn the table of 2. You will forget. That is if you are human, okay? And if you are born in an animal, if you be born like a animal, if you're born like a dog, you won't be seeing 2 times 2. You'll forget. So this worldly knowledge that you gave so much, the world teaches you to get this knowledge. Well, world stresses you, right? Stresses upon you. This is so important. How much hard work you have put to get this knowledge, but this knowledge you're going to forget in next life. But the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual awakening, Bhagavan says, no, you won't. You won't. You were already born with full knowledge, but that got covered up. So whatever hard work you're doing, you're uncovering. So those things, when you come back in another body, you will revive from where you left in the previous lives. Wow. So this is where we should be working hard. So now, Bhagavan, as we are going through these chapters, Bhagavan has given so much importance on getting knowledge, because knowledge is what is going to take you to liberation. And once you have knowledge, while living itself, you are liberated. And when you are working in the world, you are free of fear. When we read Durga Shapshati, there is a word for Durga Ma. Daridra Dukh Bhay Harini, I always say this. 3 things. Poverty, Dukh, sadness, Bhay, fear. These are big problems. When you are a spiritual being, these 3 things go away completely. You understand that grief, what you are thinking, grief is not grief. The poverty is a made-up thing. It's in your head. Society made poverty. Nature didn't. You go into nature, everything is in abundance. You sow one seed and you'll get so much. You have farms after farms, you'll enjoy food not only for yourself, you are giving food to animals, you are giving food to your coming generations. Poverty is man-made. Nature never impoverished anybody. Nature has given bountiful. Nature's bounty, we call. It's always there. Fear, man-made. There's nothing called fear. Nothing. If you come to know that you are not going to die, you're going to live, you're going to go and change your body and come back again, what is there to fear? What is there to fear? So Durga's name is Daridra Dukh Bhay Harini. These are 3 big things that a spiritual person, if you are really spiritual, if you are, as I said, we started saying that what a spiritual person's nature is. Seeing all the images is not enlightenment. Developing these qualities. If you say, if I see Durga, are you out of fear? Are you out of that poverty mentality? Are you out of that sadness? Where does the Durga live? She is Chiti Shakti, we call energy. She is Shakti in the body. We were reading that in this one or the next one. One second. Sarva karmani sanyaste. Yep, in the 13th sloka it comes. So in the 13th sloka we read, the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions. He resides happily in the city of 9 gates. So the city, I told you, is Puri. The soul knows, okay, I'm residing in this city. This is Puri. So when we are worshipping Bhagwan in the male form, we say Jagannath. Jagannath lives in Puri. Jagannath is Krishna. Krishna lives in this Puri. Krishna is Paramatma. Paramatma lives in this Puri. And that Paramatma's part and parcel is the Atma. Atma lives in this Puri. That Atma is also living with the Shakti. We call it consciousness, energy. And that energy is another name is Durga. You know, this body is Durga. Durga means fort. This body is Durga. And this body has 9 holes. 9 places from where the energy is coming and energy is going. So all these places are guarded. This fort is guarded. This fort is having 9 holes. This is a fort of 9 holes. And the energy which is guiding this body with 9 doors or 9 outlets. This body is Durga. And the energy which is guarding this body of 9 doors is Durga. Nava Durga. Nava Durga at 9 places. It is that Durga that is residing. So Nava Durga. So what is there to fear? What is there? When we are always being guided, if we worship Devi or we worship Bhagwan, this whole body is being guided either with Jagannathji or with Durga, then what is there to fear? That Durga who can give us money, wealth, everything. Then what is it that we are grieving for? Why are we unhappy? So when we talk about spiritual realization and I open up the pages of Gita, this is the reason I take Gita. I want you all to rise above these little things. Think on an intellectual level and then go to the experiential level. A real quality of a self-realized soul, even after seeing all the images and everything, you will have experiences like that. No, I mean, it is true. Do not think that they don't happen. They will happen. But along with that, the teachings of Gita, changing your mind is very, very, very important, because as I mentioned about this person whom I met, seeing all the images, getting into the bhav, but then later all these seeds of fear started coming out. Why are you fearing? There's no need to fear. So spiritual person is fearless. A spiritual person never thinks he's in poverty. Never, ever, never, ever. You cannot make him feel in poverty. A spiritual person is always happy. So these qualities have come into you or not, that you have to always notice. Yogananda does not go to a job to earn money to run his ashram. And the ashram that he has built, an ordinary man cannot make it. He's never fearing. That's how they live in the world. So, kayena manasa buddhya kevalerindrerapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvam atmashuddhaye. So a bhakta, a devotee, when he is living in the world, the yogis abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. When we are living in this body, we have been given a certain age. Now, from now onwards, because we have got the knowledge, we will live our life for the purpose of purification. We will purify every organ of ours. So how will we purify? We have to know why it became impure. Why it became impure? Why did the eyes become impure? Why did the ears become impure? Why did the hands become impure? Why? Not externally, internally. Why? Why did the mind become impure? Why? Because I allowed it too much into the world. Can I run away from the world? No, the world is everywhere. Even if I sit in the cave, there will be some world. Can I run away? No, I cannot. I have to be in the world. This is the position right now. So wherever I am, I will be aware I will not make it dirty anymore. I will not make it impure anymore. So what is the easiest way? Wherever I am, even if I'm sitting in a cave or I'm sitting in my family, within my home, I will not allow my mind to be filled up with thoughts of any fearing thoughts, any thought which will drag me down. I will not allow my mind to become fearful. I will not allow my mind to feel weak. I will fill my mind with the thoughts of God, because that gives me strength. The thoughts of God gives me happiness. Satsanga makes me happy, makes me a bold person. So I will fill my mind with those beautiful thoughts. I will never make it impure anymore. This is knowledge. This is how a spiritual person lives. Always happy. Because the mind is never impure. The mind is never in the world. Even if it is in the world, it is not in the world. So this is what he's saying here. Even though he is doing it only for purification. And then he says, Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim prapnoti naishtikim. What happens when you live life like this? You get peace. What kind of peace? Unadulterated peace. Unadulterated. It doesn't go down at all. You're always peaceful. Ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadhyate. Because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Those who don't live life like this, those who don't live a God-centered life or a God-conscious life, they will always be in the state of unrest or fear. True God, truly, when you are truly God-centered, you will wash away everything. All the seeds of old sanskaras, whatever you had in your, whatever was bringing you down, you will wash them away by the devotional service. Text 13. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. When the embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. One who gets this knowledge, always happy. This body was given for some purpose. Let's just do the body. Let's just do the purpose of the body and done. Na kritvam na karmani lokasya sujate prabhu na karma phalam sanyogam sabhavastu pravartate. The embodied mass spirit, I'm reading text number 14. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the material modes of nature. We ended at 15 yesterday. Nadatte kasya chit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhu ajञानेनावृतं ज्ञानम tena muhyanti jantavaha. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. Bhagavan has very clearly here said one thing. The Supreme Lord will not assume anybody's sinful or pious activities. Again, Bhagavan is talking about as the third person, okay? Those who are in the process of Gyan Marga, Bhagavan is saying that Supreme Lord, that Supreme Brahma whom you are concentrating upon, will not take your sinful or pious activities. Because this is not Bhakta and Bhagavan's relation. This is a Jnani's relation. He fights his own sins and he fights his own pious activities. He does it all. Because he understands, he has the knowledge. So he does not believe in anything. Oh, somebody will come and take my sin. No. Jnani's way is different. Bhagavan here is saying you'll get all the power. You'll get all the knowledge to understand. But understand, whatever is being done by the material modes of nature. So rise above these material modes of nature. Whatever I'm talking, it seems too much of knowledge, but if you contemplate and if you practice, you will know it. It will become so clear. And then 16th Bhagavan says, Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashita atmanaha tesham aditya vad jnanam prakashyati tatparam. Bhagavan says, when however one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. Tad buddhis tadatmanas tasnishtha tat parayanaha gachanti punaravrittim jnanina-ardhuta kalmashaha. When somebody is enlightened, when somebody is awakened, when somebody gets a true knowledge as in the Gita, when somebody understands this, what happens? He says, when one's intelligence, one's mind, one's faith are fixed in the supreme, in that Brahma-avastha, okay? Then one becomes fully cleansed of the misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Simple. So for the Jnani, this is what Bhagavan is saying. He'll explain more. This is what he's explaining. He's like, whose mind is fixed like this, whose intelligence, so mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge, all are fixed in the supreme. That person is cleansed of all misgivings and complete knowledge, and thus he proceeds on the path of liberation. So one has to understand what is the cleansing being happening? Where is the cleansing? The cleansing is happening in your mind and your intelligence, both. In your consciousness, when we call about mind has two levels, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So the cleansing is happening in your intelligence, the cleansing is happening in your subconscious mind, in your conscious mind, both. You're living for purification. And once that consciousness is clean, you achieve liberation. This is the way of a Jnani or a yogi who is meditating either on the Nirakar Brahma or he's meditating on Paramatma inside his heart. So either ways. So they both will achieve liberation like this. And once they have achieved liberation, once they have gotten the knowledge, what else happens? So number one thing, you will see a person who has knowledge, the real knowledge, not the one intellectual talking and debating, and not that knowledge. The one who has real knowledge, Bhagavan says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. One quality he develops, he'll become very humble. Because he is knowledgeable, at the same time, he is humble. Brahmane gavi hastini, shuni chaiva svapake chaiva, pandita samadarshanaha. He becomes humble and at the same time, he sees equanimity in everything and in every person. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and dog eater as the same. For him, there is no, why they use the word dog eater? Dog eater was a Chandal caste, which is a lower caste in India. And Brahmanas are the higher caste. And people worship the cow. They'll say cow is pure. But in India, people will not allow the dog to come near you. Dog is not considered good. Okay. So India, this is in the mindset of the people at that time, even today. So the cow, they will worship. Oh, wow, cow. But the dog, no, it should not even come near you. The elephant, they will worship. But the dog is not worshipped. And a person who eats dog, he is lower caste. You should not even touch. They are untouchables. So this used to be the system in that time. It is still there. That mindset is still there. Bhagavan very clearly says, Vidya Vinay Sampanne, a person who has this knowledge now, he is first of all humble, and he will see everything as equal. In everybody, he will see the same soul. The cow, the Brahmana is not very higher, and the person who is eating the dog is not lower. They are all behaving as per their prakriti, as per their material modes of nature. The cow is worshipable, people agreed, but the dog is not bad either. The elephant is worshipable, agreed, but finally they are all animals. All, even the Brahmana is in a human body. If he is not behaving like a Brahmana, he is an animal. He's a human animal. This is a cow animal. This is an elephant animal. This is a dog animal. This is a dog eating human animal. Everybody is animal as long as they have not realized their true spiritual nature. The person who has realized his true spiritual nature is a humble, and he will see everything equally. I remember I went to Char Dham Yatra first time, Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath. So every time, wherever I went in Himalayas, that was my first trip, and very, you have beautiful memories of your first trip, any place you go. So there used to be a dog. Always, any place I went, there would be some dog which will follow me all the way to the temple, and then when I come down, it will follow me down. And then in Yamunotri, also some dog followed me all the way to the temple. And when I'm doing the darshan, the dog will wait outside. And then when I come down, I used to give them biscuits or something and then go back to the next destination. Again, some dog in that Himalayan range. And the Himalayan dogs are so cute, so nice and very peaceful. And they will go. So this Himalayan dog will take up and then come down. Any place, any temple in those, not only these were the 4 main things, but there were other temples also which we visited. Gupta Kashi and a lot of other places. My driver knew we are over enthusiastic ladies. So he took us to different places. But every place I went, I saw a dog and the dog would follow. And then we come down, we give the dog food. Then after finishing the trip, we came to Shuktal. And then we stayed there in Shuktal. And then there also some dogs would start following me. And then I would take biscuits and I would give biscuits to the dog and then leave from the place. So my friend was there with me. She's like, everywhere you touch dog, this is so impure. I'm like, to you, maybe it appears impure because in your Vaishnava philosophy, dog is impure, dog is impure, dog is impure. And everybody talks about dog is impure. And there are so many quotes they will take away from Mahabharata and they will quote and they'll make all this noise about dog is impure. Maybe, but I am from a Shakta background and dog is not impure. Dog is the vehicle of Bhairav. Bhairav is Shiva. And I like dog. I have learned from dog something. I have learned from dog how unconditionally the dog loves his master. He will not leave his master under any circumstances. I've seen this. My dog will follow me everywhere. Even if I get angry with my dog, but he will come and still lick me. I have understood love, which human beings are not able to give in today's world. But animals give you that love if you give them, and especially dogs, their love, everybody knows how much dog can show love and dog's loyalty. And that is why we say, oh, Shiva's vehicle, Bhairav's vehicle is dog, because that loyalty, that sincerity of the dog. And they say, Devi is never happy unless you worship a Bhairav. Because that loyalty is the quality. I said, I learned, I am not a dog. I never used to be a dog fan. I used to fear dogs. But Bhagavan had to teach me. So I understood what dog is. So I said, see, listen, you can say all this. And then she started quoting and she started sending me things from other gurus, what they talk about. And I said, I know everything. I don't want to get into any argument right now. I can only say what Gita Bhagavan said. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmani gavi hastini shuni chaiva swapake chaiva panditaha samadarshinaha. So right now to me everything is all Bhairavmay, all Krishnamay, all Shivmay. Don't talk to me. And the dog has followed me. And what has the dog given? It has only given me happiness throughout the trip. All the dogs. And it gave me a chance to serve. I'm happy. Let's focus on the happiness more than the arguments. It takes away our happiness. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, the humble sages by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned, a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. This is Bhagavan. So clearly, he just gives everything. So clearly. No distinction. So true knowledgeable person, not the bookish knowledge. His vision internally is like this. Okay. Ihaiva tarjita sargo yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaà. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. While living, you can be a muktatma, you can be liberated. This is where it is. Mark it down. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless, like the Brahman. This is the true person, knowledgeable person. You say a Jnani or whatever you want to say, Siddha or saint, this is their nature. They are flawless, like the Brahman, and thus they are already situated in the Brahman. Another qualities, what he's talking, Bhagavan is talking. How beautifully he talks. Oh. Na praharshiyet priyam prapanodvijet prapya chapriyam sthira buddhir samudho brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant. No matter whatever you see in your meditation, have you developed this quality? Go back to the Gita again and again to see where you stand. Who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence, is already, note the word already, in this two both, 19 and 20. He has already conquered birth and death. He is already situated in transcendence. He is already situated in the Brahma. Here there is no debate. Here it is experiential. Experience it. A person who is like this, yes, he is a Jnani. He is a true Jnani. Bhagavan says in 21, Bhaya sparsheshva saktatma vindyatmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham shayam ashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. As you grow on the path of spirituality, whenever doubts will arise, whether I'm going on the right track or not, always open up these chapters. See what Bhagavan is talking. And then just grade yourself. Am I happy or not? Am I still in the world or not? And if something is making you unhappy, why am I unhappy? Use your intelligence. What is making me unhappy? How worth it is? Is this permanent? Is this temporary? I'm doing a lot of sadhana, I'm doing a lot of mantra, but a slightest problem in my life just shakes me up. Then I have to change myself. All these problems are temporary. What shook me? What is a permanent thing? What is that unshakable thing? Let me focus my mind on that. So all these teachings help you. Teachings are important because you are going to go through experiences of life as long as you are alive. Experiences are going to come there. So, but in those experiences, how are you reacting? Externally is different. If somebody is getting angry and fighting with you, you will fight, obviously. But internally, that person will fight with you and take the fight in his head. You will fight at the moment. But internally, no, you don't allow it to go with you. That's it. Stop it there. Internally, immediately you change your mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, or start singing or dancing bhajans. Do not allow that angry moment to be going inside your subconscious mind. This is how we live. This is how we change ourselves. We calibrate ourselves again and again, again and again. This is realization. Everything else is temporary. Such a liberated person is not attracted to sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Yamunacharya, there's one beautiful sloka by Yamunacharya. Sri Yamunacharya says, a great devotee in Krishna consciousness said, Yadavadhi mama cheta Krishna padara vinde navanava dhamani udyatam rantum asita tadavadhi vatanari sangame smarayamane bhavati mukha vikaraha shushtu nishtivanam cha. Since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit at the thought and my lips curl with distaste. A person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service of the Lord that he loses his taste for material sense pleasure altogether. The highest pleasure in terms of matter is sex pleasure. The whole world is moving under its spell, and a materialist cannot work at all without this motivation. But a person engaged in Krishna consciousness can work with greater vigor without sex pleasure, which he avoids. This is the test in spiritual realization. Spiritual realization and sex pleasure go ill together. A Krishna conscious person is not attracted to any kind of sense pleasure due to his being a liberated soul, because he has gone beyond the body. Dehatma buddhi. He has gone beyond that. Jnani is like how we learned in Tripura-rahasya, Dattatreya and Parshuram, how he is thinking. A Jnani thinks like that about the body. Why was sex pleasure given? For some time, you had children, you did some seva service, done. Do not go crazy about it. Even at the age 50, you are going crazy about it. Even at the age 60, 70, 80, 90. Are you really going to die with that consciousness? What consciousness you want to die? You have to die with God consciousness. Nothing else. This is what it is. A person who's really truly liberated, he sees everything. He'll be like anybody else, but his mind internally is not craving for any of those things. He's beyond it. It's done. Done and dusted. 22nd. Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayo na evate adyantavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddha. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material sense. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. In Padma Purana, there is a shloka. Ramante yogino nante satyananda-citātmani iti rama padena-sau param brahma vidiyate. The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasure from the absolute truth. Ramante yogino nante satyananda-citātmani. Those who are yogis, their mind is always deriving pleasure. Ramana means pleasure. What pleasure? They're always lost in their soul. Chit Atmani. They're all there and in their consciousness. They are within themselves. Iti Rama padane so param brahma vidhayate. And their mind is always thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Rama, who is the absolute truth. Nayam deha, Srimad Bhagavatam it is written. Nayam deho deha bhajan riloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhayed yasmad brahma saukhyam tu anantam. My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure. While in this human form of life, such pleasures are available to all the stool eaters, the hogs. Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified. And as a result, you will be able to enjoy transcendental bliss unlimited. Don't live like a hog. The hog, it is always in dirt. In India, especially the pigs, they're always in, the dirty waters, muddy waters. And the male pig looks at the female pig. She's also in a very dirty water, covered up with stool and urine and all those. And the dirty male pig looks at the dirty female pig and they are like, oh, my beautiful pig. How beautiful she is. And they love each other. And their love, expression of their love is licking each other. They're licking the stool on the skin. Oh, my pig. She tastes so good. This is what the situation of human being is. If we live like that, 1 woman, 2 women, 3 women, 4 women, the lust is never ending. Then you're living like a hog, like a pig. Food, uncontrolled. Don't live like a hog. Live like a human being. Use your discrimination. A hog has not been given power of discrimination. You have been given power of discrimination. Use that intelligence in the right direction. Do not go back to the animal life. Use this body for purification. Use your life wisely. This is what the whole thing is. So therefore, those who are true yogis or learned transcendentalists are not attracted by sense pleasures, which are the cause of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more he is entrapped in the material miseries. Shaknoti haiva yasodhum praka sharira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayukta sa sukhinaraha. Before giving up this present body, Bhagavan is telling, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. Check. That's all, okay? When we talk about all this, it doesn't mean like, controlling. See, we all have come from animal consciousness, and then we have been given human consciousness, and then our journey is going towards godly consciousness. But as you are in this human body, Definitely, your animal carnal desires will overcome. They will come sometimes, and sometimes you will fall for them. It is natural. So work in a very natural way. Let it not go crazy. That's the only thing. You may fall in love with a human. You will fall in love with a human. You have to taste love. How will you know how to love God if you do not love a human being? But that love for a human being is very temporary. That love will have lust. Experience lust, no problem. But you should know it is temporary. Then sometimes people will fall in love with somebody else. It happens in life. 2 times, 3 times they'll fall in love. They think this is love. But every love is having some lust. So that cycle of love and lust will continue. Pure love is not there, because pure love can only happen with God, nobody else. So you should know where to continue, how much to go and where to stop. People don't stop. People don't know to stop. People keep craving. This person will give me love. That person will give me love. This person will give love. And they end up becoming mad. Don't live life like that. Whatever the carnal desires, whatever the animalistic desires you enjoyed, you should know where to stop. Tell your mind, enough is enough. Now focus on God. That's how you practice. It will come back because of your past habits. While you're on the path of spirituality, those strong habits will come back again and again, again and again. But now you are aware not to fall. Walk steadfast on this path. And whenever these carnal desires or old habits, they are becoming stronger and stronger, maybe sometimes you'll fall. But when you are in proper awareness, take the class of your mind. Talk to it. Why did you fall? What was there to fall? Was it really necessary? How did you fall? With attachment, detachment, analyze. And rise above it. That's all. Okay? So here. So before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, is well situated and is happy in this world. One whose happiness is within. Happiness is within, not outside. Okay? You can't find happiness from anybody external. It is inside you. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. Definition given. Who is that sadhu? Who is that yogi? What is the qualities of a yogi? He is always happy within. He is not looking for any external conditions to make him happy. He loves himself so much. He experiences love inside so much. Never-ending love. Ananda, Ananda, Nitya Navinanand. Joy, 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 ever new joy. That's how his situation is. So, one whose happiness is within, who is active. He lives in the world, he'll be very active. Who rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic, qualities of a mystic. Who is a mystic? Have you developed these qualities? He is liberated in the supreme, and ultimately he attains the supreme. If you can live life like this while living, always happy internally. Externally, whatever drama you have to do, you do. But those are only drama, okay? You're just an artist over there. That's it. You should always remember, I am just acting. And your acting has to be perfect in the world. Because if you don't act perfectly in the world, people will, misunderstand. So you have to act perfectly in the world. Act means action. Acting. When you're out of the world, get inside you and enjoy. This should be your life. Act only for the sake of action. That's it. Okay? But inwardly you should be happy. This is the true nature of a yogi. Labante brahma nirvanam dishaya kshina kalmashah chinna dvaita yatatmana sarvabhuta iriteratah. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings. Second quality you must develop. Happy within, and you have to work for the welfare of others, and who are free from all sins. Definitely you will not be sinful. Liberation in the achieve the liberation in the Supreme. So these qualities you have to develop. Loka kalyan, work for others, welfare of the others. When somebody becomes liberated, they worked hard for this. But then another duty is given to them. They just can't go leave the world and go. They cannot. We cannot say, oh, okay, I became liberated. Bye-bye, tata. You guys are stuck. Be stuck there. You're not listening. So losers, be there. No, we can't say that. No. We have to work for the welfare of others. We have to show them the path. There are many saints who go to certain planets, which are the planets of the saints, okay? Or the tapasvis, tapaloka, janaloka, maharloka. So they will live there. They do not want to go for the final emancipation because they know they have already emancipated. They are liberated already, but they will wait there because from there they are guiding the souls on earth. Janaloka, tapaloka, maharloka, brahmaloka. So they karma mukti. They go, we will be here. We will help people. We will come when the time of annihilation comes. So those kind of devotee saints are also there. Because they have figured it out. Main thing was figuring it out. They figured it out. If you figure it out, you're also emancipated. And how do you figure out? Through Gita. Everything is given. Kama krodha vimuktatma yatinam yat chetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection. Self-discipline. Nobody can discipline you. So self. It is all about the self. Know yourself. Are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. So Bhagavan is giving you the assurance. If you follow this, you will be liberated. Wow. There is a sloka from Bhagavatam of the saintly persons who are constantly engaged in striving towards the salvation. One who is Krishna conscious is always best. Yat pada pankaj palasha vilasha bhaktya karmashayam gratitam udgratayanti santaha tadvan narikta matayo yatyo api rudha shroto ganastam maranam bhajava sudevam. Just try to worship in devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam. Vasudev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even great sages are not able to control the focus of senses as effectively as those who are engaged in the transcendental bliss by serving the lotus feet of the Lord, uprooting the deep-rooted desire for fruitive activities. Wow. In the conditioned soul, the desire to enjoy fruitive results of work is so deep-rooted that it is very difficult for the great sages to control such desires. Despite great endeavors, a devotee of the Lord, constantly engaged in devotional service, in Krishna consciousness, perfect in self-realization, very quickly attains liberation in the Supreme. Owing to his complete knowledge in self-realization, he always remains in trance. To cite an analogous example of this, Darshana dhyana sansparshna matsya kurma vihangmaha swani apatyani pushnanti tataham api padmaja. By vision, by meditation, and by touch, only do the fish, the tortoise, and birds maintain their offspring. Similarly do I also, O Padmaja. The fish brings up its offspring simply by looking at them. The tortoise brings up its offspring simply by meditation. The eggs of the tortoise are laid on the land, and the tortoise meditates on the eggs while in the water. Similarly, the devotee in Krishna consciousness, although far away from the Lord's abode, can elevate himself to that abode simply by thinking of him constantly, by engaging himself in Krishna consciousness. He does not feel the pangs of material miseries. This state of life is called Brahma Nirvana, or the absence of material miseries, due to being constantly immersed in the Supreme. And then I'll just read this 27, 28, 29 and we'll end up. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and the outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. This is the situation of a Sankhya yogi. And then Bhagavan is now teaching us a little bit of meditation. So from here, he will start meditation, Dhyana Yoga, and then he will continue the Dhyana Yoga in chapter 6. So right now, he just gave us some few things. He's telling keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between two eyebrows here, suspending the inward and the outward breath within nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is liberated. So this is Dhyana Yoga, but he being he will end it up on him only. So in the last shloka, he ends up. He says, Bhoktaram yajna-tapasam sarvalokam maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatvam mam. Mam means me. Mam shantimrichati, a person. He says this is for the Gyanis, a person in full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So he thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Karma Yoga, or action in Krishna consciousness. So here he ended up with two things which we are going to continue in chapter 6, the Dhyana Yoga, but in between he has also said, those who think I am everything, I am the supreme enjoyer, and they surrender all their yajnas, sacrifices unto me, they also achieve liberation. And those who believe that I am the well-wisher of all living entities, they achieve liberation. And those who believe that I am the supreme god of all the demigods, they achieve liberation. So he ended up with this. 6th chapter is Dhyana Yoga. We will learn it. That is the end of Sankhya Yoga, okay? 6th chapter. So we will learn it in detail from next week onwards. Let me see your comments and we'll end up the class. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Okay. Ma, your Vakya of Ma Durga was so beautiful. You remove all complexity and bring us to the pure nectar of essence. Sach mein ma aap kidhar the? I wish I could have met you in 2013. The amount of suffering I went through on the spiritual path nahi hoti. इतने क्लैरिटी के साथ आप मुझे ये सब बता देते हो, लाइफ ही बन जाती है. आने वाले 10 साल बच जाते हैं मेरे. सच में भगवद गीता फ्रॉम यू इज द बिगेस्ट वरदान a शिष्य कैन गेट. थैंक यू. आई लव यू माँ. लव यू ऑलवेज ऑलवेज. जब समय होता है तभी होता है ना. Sentiment of all her kids eternally grateful. Dogs have supernatural sense of recognizing pure souls. Yes, they do. Ma, I had this question in Hindi, but due to time constraints, asking it here. Ma, साधना के क्षेत्र में अधिकार के कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में सुना है. कभी कभी ये भी सुना है कि कुछ गुरुजन बोलते हैं कि आपको मैं दीक्षा नहीं दे सकता क्योंकि आपके गुरु कोई और हैं, या कभी आपने किसी को कुछ साधना के बारे में बता दिया और उनका अधिकार नहीं था. क्या इसका बैकलैश होता है आपके एक्सपीरियंस में? Seeing our journey into Gita so far feels like Bhagwan also waited for Arjuna to accept him as his spiritual master. तब तक उन्होंने गुरु की भूमिका नहीं निभाई. So आप गुरुजन ये अधिकार कैसे परखते हो? क्या शिष्य के क्वेश्चंस आपको उनका अधिकार के बारे में बताते हैं, या ये सब कुछ पूर्व जन्मों का कनेक्शन गुरु परख लेते हैं जिससे वो ये डिसाइड करते हैं कि किस इस शिष्य को इस विद्या का अधिकार है या नहीं? टीचर को समझ में, देखो हर टीचर देगा. रियल टीचर जो होता है ना गुरु, सॉरी आई विल एक्सप्लेन इन इंग्लिश. द वन हु इज अ रियल गुरु does not distinguish. He wants to give the knowledge to everyone, but the students are not prepared. And like to my father knew everything, but the students who came to him, they would come for some very small things. And you come for a small thing, the teacher knows you. It's like the doctor, the moment the patient enters the doctor's place, the clinic, the doctor will ask some few symptoms and the doctor will know what the patient is all about. Similarly, the teacher also knows what the student is all about. So many times if there is a real teacher, he will see the student and he will say, no, I don't want to give. Because when you said कि वो किसी और गुरुजन से सीख के आए और वो तुम्हारे पास आए, I have seen students, they have learned, they have gone to this guru, that guru, so many gurus, And when they come to me, I first want to see how loyal they are to their gurus. Because if they are not sincere to their previous acharyas, they will not be sincere to me also. So why should I be, in this path, sincerity is most important thing. Sincerity, your loyalty. So the only way I will address is, okay, learn first, spend some time. My only thing is spend time with your guru. The guru should also know the student, and the student should also know the guru. What is the guru giving? The guru is giving the knowledge. That's all. So when somebody says, oh, I went to that guru, I didn't get, or I learned something, and then he goes to another guru, and then they're like, okay, I learned something, but I didn't get anything. So the guru is like also thinking, okay, you have come to me, you will not spend time with me also, you will learn something. Whatever you feel according to your selfish desires, you will spend some time, and then you will go and you will talk the same thing. So gurus know every student what they are. So sometimes gurus will just push away the student. Don't come near me types. Sometimes guru is like, because see, the guru is very happy in his own world. The guru does not, real gurus, I tell you, they don't need followers, they don't even need students also. When we are in this world, we are just doing seva for the happiness of Bhagwan. So in that seva, we want to do this seva peacefully and happily. But when the shishyas are coming, when the disciples, so-called, oh, I am your disciple, I want to sacrifice, I want to give myself to you, but then people don't even want to give that time. People don't even want to follow teachings. People don't want to learn. Then what do you say to such students? But if there are some sincere students, the teacher will go out of their way to do anything. Shikha is there here in the group. If I told Shikha, get up at 5 o'clock, she'll get up at 5 o'clock. If I tell her, get up at 3 o'clock, she'll get up at 3 o'clock. How many times she has attended Bhagavad Gita? She's so young when she found me from YouTube. How many messages she must have written to me? I was very reluctant to go in the world. I never wanted to go in the world. I was very happy in my zone. And then I so many messages, so many comments she wrote, so many messages she wrote. Then one day I was like, okay, let me just reply. Maybe I'm being too rude. But when I saw the dedication of this girl, so I would give her some time, which will be really difficult because she's studying, she's in hostel. But she will manage. She comes, she learns. I gave her. But there are students, you give them everything, but they don't want to give time. They'll still have questions. I don't have time to do. What do you do with these people? So many times the teachers, they have had so many experiences of life. For me, I am very lucky to have very good students, okay? But for me, my learning experience was through my father. Thousands of people have come to him, thousands of people. And what they could get, nothing. My father could give everything. For me, few hours with my father is very potent, very important. I could get whatever I wanted to. But many of them, they could not. So many times people will, so when you said, right, adhikar and all those things, it's not like the guru wants to push them off. The guru wants to really see sincerity. It's many times the students who are not sincere and they push off. That is what happened. Okay. So आपको मैं दीक्षा नहीं दे सकता क्योंकि आपके गुरु कोई और हैं. या कभी आपने किसी को कुछ साधना के बारे में बता दिया और उनका अधिकार नहीं था. So this is the reason that the guru will use. But if the student is really very, no, I want to have it from you, the teacher will give. Real teachers will not avoid a true student. Okay. All these reasons are given for students whom they know. Time pass hours. We understand. Time pass hai. Kitne din aayega, kya aayega. The way they talk, the way they question, the way we come to know. What is their main? Some people, they will call, oh, I saw this in my meditation. I had this experience. I want to understand more about the experience. So I picked up their calls in the past. After all the experiences, they will talk. Then through the talk, I understand. Now let me see what is going to come out. In the end, they will end up the conversation with some of their material desires. And that material desire could be very petty, very trivial. And then after keeping the phone, I'll be thinking, wow, this person wanted to talk to me about that material desire, that petty desire, but he knows I'm very strict about all this. So he started the conversation. He lured me with the spiritual talks, and then he wanted some mantra by which his petty desires will be fulfilled. So I've seen that kind of students also. And then they will come. After that, they'll vanish. Literally vanish. Because my tone is very different. And they'll vanish. So all the spiritual desires, all the spiritual talks had no value. You wasted my time, your time also. So sometimes you will hear me also, nahi, mere ko nahi dena, because, and sometimes people have taken diksha from other gurus. So you please follow your gurus. That's what the whole thing is. Follow your guru. And if you still don't go, then I will see the classes are going on. You come to the classes, you attend. If you feel like, yeah, I have to connect with you, I have removed all the doubts. One guru, many guru, 5 gurus, so many guru, everything I have spoken. So if the student is sincere, they will get it. If the student is sincere, gurus will use all these tactics to push away the student. So that is what it is. So, yeah. So when you become a guru, you'll know, Aman, what kind of students come. Gaurav is getting a taste of it. All right. And बात केवल आपके कॉन्सेप्ट समझाने की नहीं है, माँ, योर वर्ड्स आर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल, मैजिकल वाइब्रेशन, सो सीधा दिल में उतरता है, बीच में कहीं नहीं अटकती, ऐसे जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं सीधे मेरे सोल से, और सीधा अवेकन कर रहे हैं. जब भी ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस होता है, आई स्टार्ट लुकिंग ओवर माय कर्मास इन दिस लाइफ एंड आई कुडंट फाइंड good karmas good enough to receive your sanidhya. I know I will fall again prone to my vikaras. लेकिन अब इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है कि जो आपने मेरे सोल में इंस्टॉल किया है आपके वर्ड्स के द्वारा, वो फिर से मुझे उठा के डबल स्पीड से आगे बढ़ाएगा. मेरा प्रणाम स्वीकार करें आपके चरणों में. यस डेफिनेटली भगवान तुमको इस जन्म, हमसे बहुत अच्छे काम होते हैं और भगवान जरूर हमको आगे हर जन्मांतर में बढ़ाते रहेंगे. सो चिंता मत करो. वाह, ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कोण भगवान चैतन्य चैतामृत. ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कोण भाग्यवान जीवा, गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाया भक्ति लत बीज. When one receives the seed of devotional service by the mercy of the Guru and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's real life begins. If one abides by the orders of the spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, he's freed from service to the mind. Don't know why, Ma, but today you are radiating Baba Bhutanaji's presence. Jai Ho, your teachings and the description of the tree yogi is so blissful. All right. माँ, आज का सत्संग बहुत बहुत डिफरेंट है. So much divinity. Both Lalita and Krishna is radiating from your face, and your words, our soul is feeling intense magnetism towards you, Guru Ma. Jai Ma. I love you too, Namaskar. And I'm happy at your feet, Ma. Nothing like your feet, Guru Jano ki jai ho. Let me be child at my mother's feet. भगवान तुम्हारी इच्छा पूरी करे. तथास्तु अमन. ठीक है. All right. So we'll end up the class. Jai Shri Krishna. You guys have a great weekend. Lalita my weekend and Krishna my weekend. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you,
Jai
Ma.
Shri Krishna. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ma.
Jai.